Welcome to Beards and Buckets. My name is Teebs.
I'm Mike.
And we are back once again. It's been quite a long time since the last one, and a lot of things have happened and transpired. But how you doing, Mike?
Yes, I'm doing good.
You had something to say there.
We've missed... Yeah, sorry about that, loyal listeners and viewers.
Mm-hmm, yes.
I was busy being a weeb in Boston.
An anime
Gold
Boston
anime Boston. Yeah, I missed about 3 of the games. I saw some at Yard House.
Yeah.
In Prudential. I saw some of, I think it was game 3 of Knicks Pacers.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly I think has easily been the more entertaining series between the two.
Oh yeah, I mean it's had comebacks. I mean obviously Indiana's up 3-1, but it's also sort of like those games are more exciting. It feels like Timberwolves Thunder's been sort of like one team will crush the other. I don't know which series we want to really focus on.
Well, the first thing I want to start off with is SGA is the most valuable player of the league. The free throw merchant is the most valuable player of the league, as some people would say.
I got my 7 doubloons on DraftKings.
Oh yeah, because you picked him as MVP like before the season started.
I did. I chose about like 5 people and hoped one of them would get MVP.
I mean, yeah.
And Shai won it, so I was up money on that.
So who did you...
been bold enough to bet any of that money yet. My 5 were Tatum.
Okay.
It was $1 to win 19. Anthony Edwards, I forget how much I would have won with his. It was like, I put like 10 cents on Wemby to win like $8 or something.
Oh, damn.
And then Shai, and I want to say was the other one. I knew it wasn't going to be Jokic just because people would have like fatigue. People would have voters fatigue and his team just isn't as good right now. I'm happy it ended up like obviously like been deserving had he won it, but I would have less money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, well deserved from SGA. Yes. He's been probably the best player all season. I mean,
he's been the most consistent.
It'll shift. Yeah, he's been the most consistent. I mean, like peak, you could argue Jokic had a higher peak this year than him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Shai's also on the team, so it sort of evens itself.
Yeah, I think I forget the number, but there was like some crazy number of games Shai went getting 20 plus points. And it was like, it dated back to like last year, I think. It was like fucking crazy. And like he finally broke that not that long ago where he had to put up a stinker where he got like, less than 20, but that speaks volumes in itself that consistently he's coming out and at least giving you a 20 piece every night, which is goes a long way in winning a game. So,
and he's given you like a smooth 20 at least. Mm-hmm. Like he comes out and like he'll hit you with a move or two. He sort of hides almost when incredible around the basket. Obviously, like leads to and people will make their jokes and the memes will, I'm sure, perpetuate past this season, but
I mean, ever since like mid-season, I knew he was going MVP. I mean, I got to give Jokic his flowers, obviously, because he really made it one of the tightest MVP races we've seen in years. So, but at the end of the day, I think Shai was more of a consistent player than Jokic was this year. Because, I mean, the only thing Jokic really has on him, or the only things, is that when Jokic isn't scoring the ball well, like rebounds, assists, he'll defend, he'll do everything else well. And I don't think Shai has that. I think if Shai isn't scoring the ball well, he's not doing much else. But I think he was a much superior scorer, and I think that's what won him the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like a slouch defensively, but I wouldn't like call him elite by any means.
Right.
It was much a foregone conclusion. like about halfway through sort of all-star, okay, Shai's probably coming away with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jokic just like didn't stop being great. Like he was good and put up like, and they ended up being what, like the 5 seed or the 4 seed?
They were the 4 seed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the 4 seed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that team, the way they were playing all year, were not good enough to be that seed. Like that was Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was basically just saying though, Jokic, he was the first person to average a triple-double as a center, but it wasn't as impactful as when Russ did it because Russ was the first person since the Big O to do it, and it was more of a storyline where you sort of expect the triple-doubles from Jokic. So not quite as, like it is equally as impactful in terms of what they did, but it's not quite as impactful narratively for making a case for Jokic for MVP.
Yeah, I think the game's evolved to a point where we expected out of bigs to be able to score and pass and rebound and do all these things. But with guards, getting a triple-double is like hard. It's a much harder thing to do. It's not like unheard of, but it's a much harder thing to do. And we'll get into someone who just put up a triple-double in the playoffs later, but as a guard. But
oh my god, man, so impressive.
Do you want to Doc Rivers and Giannis? You want to throw that out there?
Oh yeah, I saw a report that the Bucks are apparently banking on Doc Rivers' presence to be a factor in Giannis staying. Hopefully, I didn't get NBA sentelled. Let me.
Was that per? I almost said per Woj. God. Per Shams. Shams the only one I trust.
Please. The source is Mark Stein. The Milwaukee Bucks hope that Doc Rivers' presence will help convince Giannis Antetokounmpo to stay long term.
Can you imagine that meeting?
If Doc Rivers keeps Giannis in Milwaukee, dude, like...
Talk about job security.
Oh my god. Yeah, job security, definitely. That would be the most ludicrous thing. Like, there are so many better coaches, Giannis.
Yes.
If Doc Rivers keeps you in Milwaukee, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're just wrong.
Exactly.
Like, he's not even top half of the league, I'd argue.
No.
In terms of coaching ability. He should not be the reason you stay in Milwaukee.
What has Doc Rivers done since winning with KG Pierce and Allen?
He hasn't done shit since winning with
them.
them.
I'm saying. Like,
he literally hasn't done shit.
Well, he coached the Lob City Clippers. He
coached a bunch of teams with great players that lost.
Yeah, Lob City Clippers. He coached the rebuilding Sixers with Embiid kind of making his way up. Couldn't stay healthy, but...
Didn't he have the beginning of the Kawhi Clippers, or was he fired by then?
I think he had the beginning of it, and then he lost his job. I know he coached the Lob City Clippers.
Yeah, I know he coached them.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Rivers coached the Clippers from 2013 to 2020.
Uh-huh.
So he did coach the beginning. I think he coached the first year of the Kawhi Paul George Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, none of those teams did anything. Granted, a lot of it was injury, but also, is Doc Rivers bringing the injury bug to all these teams? I
don't think so. I think the fact that he's like cursed and I got the fucking second round is another thing.
Adding Darvin Ham to your coaching staff doesn't exactly help that either.
Right.
The Bucks are like, let's go grab 2 of the least respected coaches in the game. Make a dynamic duo of bad X's and O's and hope that convinces our star player to stay.
As long as you got him around, you'll always win the in-season tournament, though.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Yeah. You'll always win the second-tier title that doesn't mean anything.
Everyone gets a $500,000 bonus. Woohoo.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm the player, I'm happy. Hey, coach, thanks for the extra.
Hey man, yeah. If I'm
500
player 15 on the roster and I'm not playing at all, give me that 500K.
Yeah.
And actually, I
Yeah.
saw LeBron. I think it was in starting five. He said that's like one of the main things for him with the in-season tournament is like he thinks about those guys that are just starting out and they don't have a ton yet because they haven't really proven themselves. He's like, oh, I want to win it for them because they could use the extra 500K.
It's a lot more impactful for the younger players and the two-way guys.
Yeah, right. Fucking like Braun doesn't need 500K. He makes that shit in a week.
Yeah, dude's a billionaire. Like,
Yeah.
500K. Like, don't get me wrong. I could have $1 billion and I'd still be like, oh, damn, 500K? Like, but I don't know. It's like at a certain point, it's just a drop in the bucket, man.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if I had a nickel for every time Darvin Ham won the in-season tournament, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It is weird that it happened twice. Shout out to Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Darvin Doof, bro.
When I was a child back in Gimmelstump, my father forced me to work as a lawn gnome.
I think it is.
Denise and Ferb's coming back.
Go up and jump off the freaking what is it? The diving board if you don't want to be a schnitzel.
A schnitzel, that's what it was. What the fuck is a schnitzel?
Yeah, so that's getting a reboot, and then I think regular show. No, Amazing World of Gumball. Oh, it is.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's
and then Amazing World of Gumball is getting one too.
It's the lost tapes of essentially like basically just more episodes. Essentially,
maybe there will be a God of Basketball episode in that.
What did you say about basketball? Nothing. That's what I thought you said.
Yeah. So, Pacers Knicks.
Well, quickly to recap. So, round 2. We've talked about round 2, and like we can quickly I'll go series by series. So through round 2, we each have a 9-3 record of predicting the series. So we're tied going into this round essentially. So we both picked the Timberwolves against the Warriors. I actually picked the Nuggets against the Thunder, and you picked the Thunder. So that's kind of where you caught me. And then the Celtics and Knicks, we both picked the Celtics, so that's an L for both of us. And then Cavs and Pacers, we both said the Pacers, so that's a win.
Yeah.
But
we were both right about the Pacers upsetting the Cavs, which I was happy about.
Yeah, but man, were we fucking wrong about the Celtics against the Knicks?
Oh yeah.
Like we can go back. We can go back to that and be like, I think we were both like, I mean, I'll be nice. I'll give the Knicks a game, and you were like, yeah, I'll give them 2 games, and damn,
yeah, yeah, it was brutal. That was not fun as a Celtics fan.
I don't think now that the series is over.
The cherry on top, Tatum tearing his fucking Achilles.
Yep.
And now Shams is coming out and is basically like everyone not named Jason Tatum can be traded for.
Right, which I think is true.
I think it's true too, and I honestly wouldn't be shocked if the plan is to just blow it up entirely, suck for a year while Tatum's injured, and then try and use whatever young guys or picks you can acquire with everyone else to rebuild quick.
I saw a mock trade today. It was Jalen Brown to the Spurs for the 2nd overall pick.
I don't know why. Like, if you're the Spurs, you do that because you want to bring in like a guy who can maybe be your second option
easily.
Yeah, I mean he's shown he can be a second option for a championship team.
At times the first option.
It's also at times the first option.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also how good is Wemby going to be this young? And then by the time Wemby is at the level where he's ready to lead a team to a title, is Jalen Brown going to be the same player? Because he already took a bit of a dip this year.
Yep.
Granted, he was playing with a partially torn meniscus apparently throughout the playoffs, so that I'm sure was a lingering issue.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. I feel like if you're the Celtics, you want more than just the second pick
Oh, absolutely.
in a deal like that. I mean, the second overall pick is great, but like the prize of that draft is Cooper Flagg. So if you aren't getting him, and I know that people are high on this draft class as a whole, but if you aren't getting the guy, I feel like you need to get a little bit more for Jaylen Brown than just that. But it's also how highly does the rest of the league value Jaylen Brown? That's all you can get for him. I don't think it's the worst offer.
Right.
Depends on what you want to do. And
I mean,
yeah, I mean any plans of the Celtics trying to pursue KD or anything like that, I think are over.
thank God.
Because there's no realistic way that you're going and trying to get another star player, like trying to swap star players, unless you get younger. Like if they were to try and pursue like a Zion, then like maybe he has his own injury risk, but he's young enough that you might be able to convince him to stay, and him and Tatum have close enough timelines that if they could make it work, it might. But there's not too many young star players that I think you'd even be able to go get.
Unfortunately, we were very, very wrong about that series. So well, first of all, I want to talk about the series a little bit. I just want to say, like, I think the first two games, the Celtics literally shot themselves in the foot. I don't think either one of those losses is excusable. I don't think you can even credit the Knicks for either one of those. I think it was the Celtics should have won both those games.
I do think they should have won both games, but I also don't think it's something where you discredit the Knicks, because they came back one of, if not both, games.
Yeah. So I agree. You can't discredit the Knicks. I'll use game 2 as an example. That's the game where we didn't have a field goal for 8 straight minutes. So, yeah, the Knicks came back, but also fucking not getting one basket for 8 minutes is inexcusable as a professional basketball team. And the Knicks just took full-on advantage of that. And like after game 1, I remember being like, oh, the Celtics aren't going to shoot this bad again. And yeah. Anyways, game 2 might have been worse.
Yeah. It was horrendous shooting from the Celtics most of the series. There was the game they won by like 25 and
without Tatum
themselves. Yeah. And they were like hitting everything. And then even in the game Tatum like got hurt, he was so on fire that game. That made it worse. It was like the fact that he was doing it all. The Celtics were down. They were probably going to lose the game he got injured in anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it felt like you had an outside shot of winning that, and Tatum was going to perhaps will you to that win.
Well,
and then to just see him go down with like the worst injury you can get just blows.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because a lot of Knicks fans are saying like, oh, the Celtics weren't winning that game anyways, like when Tatum got hurt. Oh, okay. Well, funny you say that, because next round the Pacers were down how much with like 2 minutes left? More than the damn Celtics. So
and Aaron Nesmith decided that they were going to turn it up.
So to say it wasn't a winnable game is ridiculous.
Yeah, I would agree. But to the Pacers, and sort of like going off that segue with them making that comeback, continuing sort of the points we mentioned with them against Cleveland.
No lead is safe.
They just don't go away.
No lead is ever safe.
No lead safe against them. And it feels like when Haliburton's playing at this level, the sky's the limit. It's like, I was talking with my dad earlier about like playmakers.
Yeah.
And there's just some guys that it's just like absolutely magical to watch them pass. And when Tyrese Haliburton is playing the way he's playing, he's one of those guys. Like,
Yeah.
I've experienced watching LeBron when he was at his best. He's time to time, but it's not as often now. When he was at his best, Jokic, the year they won the title, and even now, obviously, he still does it.
Mm-hmm.
And like Haliburton, they will just make passes where you're just fucking mesmerized. You're like, holy shit. I didn't even see this guy. Like, I didn't even see this guy in my vision watching it on TV, and Haliburton just passed him open. And it's always just super impressive to me when players can process the game that well. And I believe, what was it in the most recent game? 15 assists and no turnovers?
Yeah, it was like 30 points, 15 assists. I think he had 10 or 12 rebounds as well, and not a single turnover. But he's overrated.
32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists.
Okay, yeah.
Didn't turn the ball over once.
Yeah, he's overrated, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, he's so overrated. He's sort of rekindling that magic that people were, like, that hype that people were feeling with him when he had that in-season tournament run.
Yep.
It really feels like he is surging again and sort of like ascending to that level of stardom that we thought he would have gotten at earlier. And he's doing it at the perfect time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you're going to grow as a player, you're going to reach this superstar level, you're going to play with the big dogs. Like, I'm sorry, if he's going to be doing, obviously he's not going to have 32, 15, and 12 with no turnovers every single game.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can even do 80% of that remotely consistently,
yeah,
there's no reason he can't give Shai, like, a gut punch in the finals.
Absolutely.
If the Pacers are to make it. And them as an offense, don't get me wrong, I understand Oklahoma City is a really strong defensive team. They've been the best team in the league all year.
Yep.
I don't think the Pacers are going to be completely outclassed by them.
No, I don't either.
I can't see a world in which that happens. And I guess, like, what I will say, because we never made our predictions for these series, my prediction, what I sort of had in my mind is, what I think will happen is Knicks Thunder. So I'm wrong on that, because it's going to end up being Pacers Thunder.
Most likely. Pretty much, yeah.
What I wanted to happen was either of the two teams from the East to face the Timberwolves, because I thought it would be a more entertaining series. I thought it would be closer. Where I feel like if the Thunder make it, they're going to win. But for whatever reason, in the back of my mind, I feel like the Pacers have a chance to, like, give them a really big gut punch in the beginning.
Oh, man, I totally agree. And honestly, to kind of throw in my picks here, I did pick the Pacers and I did pick the Thunder. As much as I wanted to pick the Timberwolves because I love Anthony Edwards, which we've talked about, that team is just nowhere near deep enough to take on the Thunder, which is unfortunate. And let me check on the score right now, actually. What was it, 26-9 at the end of the first? Okay, it's 75-43.
My brother. Yeah. They're getting collapsed.
So the Thunder are about to make the NBA Finals.
Yeah, congrats to Oklahoma City. And I mean, it is tomorrow that the Pacers and Knicks play again, right?
Yep. I feel like the Pacers close it out. They're in MSG, so, but
we'll probably be saying congratulations to the Pacers tomorrow.
We pretty much have Thunder and Pacers. I don't think either the Timberwolves or Knicks are going to win 3 straight games. I think there's just too many flaws in both their games.
Neither do I. As much as I like the Knicks, I do think, like, I thought before these series started, the most fun NBA Finals to watch would have been Pacers Timberwolves.
Oh, that would be great.
I feel like it would have been very competitive. It would have been a fun game. It would have been two young stars, and either side would have had a chance to win, where I feel like if the Knicks somehow were to win against the Pacers, or if the Pacers go through and win and either of them have to face the Thunder, I feel like it's kind of a foregone conclusion. But I don't know. I feel like for whatever reason, I feel like the Pacers would have a better shot of beating them than the Knicks. And it is probably just recency bias. But that recency bias hits hard when Tyrese Haliburton gives you 30, 12, and 15 on 0 turnovers.
It's a great time. It's a great time to be a Pacer fan, man. Like, that guy is the future.
And if you're an Indiana fan, you are, like, rocking right now.
Yeah. And honestly,
because I would love, frankly, to see Kevin Durant land in Indiana.
Oh, my God.
I think if that would somehow happen, that would just be such a fun, pure hoops team to watch.
Yeah.
And, like, at that point, I would legitimately consider them, like, they could win a championship. Like, they're probably going to make it this year. I think a lot of people are going to find it fluky. Their offense, to me, is incredible. I think it's perfectly capable of making a finals. But outside of Tyrese, they don't really have, like, the star power probably to win it.
They have proven that they can beat any team in the league on any night, regardless of what their record is. So that's why
they have.
And then, like, no lead is safe, like we said. Like, I think they've put together a roster that can absolutely win the finals this year, and they're most likely going to make it there. So even if they lose to the Thunder, which is a big possibility because the Thunder are just so great, you still have to look at it like, okay, we have a really good team that just blew through the conference when we weren't supposed to. Like, the future is really bright for us.
And I guess if we both are sort of in a point, despite whatever, I mean, your prediction, I guess, is going to be, mine's going to be wrong, but I sort of had a feeling it might be wrong with how good the Pacers have been. In terms of finals predictions, I have the Thunder. I think for the Pacers to win, their only win condition to me is that they have to go up 2-0 and just absolutely steal home court entirely from the Thunder.
Yeah.
And they'd have to win in 6. They'd have to win the first 2, and then they'd have to close it out in a game 6 in Indiana. If it somehow went 7, I don't think they're beating the Thunder in 7.
In OKC.
In OKC.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening. They have to come in and just catch Oklahoma City off guard.
Which is very possible, because what did they do to Cleveland? Everyone was thinking Cavs and Thunder in the finals. Well, the front runner for the East, they blew right through them. So, again, that completely changes the narrative for the Pacers.
It does. And this is obviously completely barring injury to anyone on either team. The Pacers, they played incredible against the Cavs.
Yeah.
They also did have some injury luck against the Cavs. So hopefully nothing like that happens with Oklahoma City.
I hope not.
Hopefully it's both teams healthy up against each other. That's what I'd like to see.
I think we're not giving it. I don't think people are giving the Pacers Thunder series enough credit for, like, how fun it will be between these two insane offenses and great defenses too, honestly.
I'm hoping even if the series doesn't end up being super competitive, I'm hoping we at least get, like, an iconic moment from both sides. Like, the Lakers in, what was it, 01?
Yeah.
I think it was 2001 when Iverson had the step over on Tyronn Lue and they got that game. And I'm pretty sure they ended up losing that series in 5.
Yeah.
But it's like, if the Pacers get stomped, I want there to at least be a moment like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, the Pacers did this really cool thing even though they lost. I just hope it doesn't become like a forgettable series where the Pacers just walk into Oklahoma City, get smacked by 30, like lose the next game by like 15, 16 points, and it's just not even ever close. That would be the worst case scenario. I'm hoping with everything in me that these games are close.
I think they will be. I don't think there's going to be a blowout on either end.
No?
I mean, maybe one game, like one team's off, but I think each game's going to be close and very high scoring. I don't think, like, they're both great defenses, but I don't know, these two offenses going at each other, I think it's going to be high scoring games.
Now, another thing, I know this is going to be like first finals for a lot of these players. Do you think anyone's going to show up in that moment and fold? Like, not like completely fold, but like, I don't know in 22 if you noticed it. To me, it felt like Tatum was strong-arming a lot because he just had those like, holy shit, I'm in the final. Do you think that'll hit Shai and Tyrese? Or do you think where they're in the finals against each other and neither of them have been there and they don't have this, like, it's truly anyone's game? Do you think it might hit them less, or do you think it'll, sort of strike one of them more?
We're talking two sides of a coin here because, like, we really don't know. I don't think Shai is one of those players that, like, folds in, like, high-pressure moments. But then again, this is the biggest stage in basketball, and he hasn't been here before, so we have nothing to compare it to. So that's the tough thing. And same with Tyrese, honestly. Like, Tyrese, has been to the conference final. He didn't play last year, but so that's that doesn't work. I forgot he wasn't healthy last year. But I don't know. Tyrese Haliburton's in the same boat because he hasn't even been. This is his first conference finals, so I seems like he's doing pretty well. I mean, this is the biggest stage conference wise, and I don't think he's folded. So
yeah, I don't think I don't think they'll be awful by any means.
No, I don't see it.
I'm curious just if maybe the shooting for like a Haliburton in game 1 and maybe game 2 isn't quite there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's given no indication that that'll be the case, but it did feel sort of like, at least when the Celtics made it in 22, it was like Tatum's in his first finals, and he is so obviously nervous to be there. And he did end up turning it around. He had one of the games against 30-something points. I hope that doesn't happen for either of them, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that. And I wouldn't be shocked if the first game or two of the series are more like low scoring, sort of drawn out affairs instead of like these shootouts that we're used to seeing with Indiana.
Yeah, I could see it. Where it's, two teams that haven't been here, and it's like the lights are too bright. You know what I mean? So it's much more defensive than offensive.
Do you want to know who I'm like oddly confident in terms of like showing up in a finals series?
Jericho
I
Sims.
Probably shouldn't be. Well, he's already out of.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. One day.
I definitely would. One of these days, Doc Rivers will put on a coaching master class and they'll make it next year.
If Doc Rivers can't convince Jericho Sims to stay in Milwaukee, then what the fuck is really going on over there?
Yeah. But Chet Holmgren, I don't know. I just feel like he's got that personality about him.
Billy Chet?
I feel like he's going to show up like really strong.
You think he's going to be the X factor for them?
I think he will be the X factor in game 1.
Oh, so kind of like a Porzingis deal from last year.
For whatever reason, I feel like he's just going to dominate game 1. Like, he's going to come out and get like 22, like 12 on good efficiency.
Hey, we'll hold you to that. I think it's
like,
possible.
holy shit, look at Chet. Look at Chet in his first finals game.
So inspirational.
Watch, now that I've said this, he's going to drop like 4 points.
Yeah,
he's going to get hit with the jitters. He's going to get hit with the jitters the most since I said he won't.
I want to come back to the next pod episode and be completely pressed because I took him for 20 when you told me to.
Yeah, but that's like my hot take is Chet's going to come out and have this like huge game 1.
Now, for both teams, first of all, before we kind of wrap up here, it's essentially Pacers and Thunder. It's like, right? Because first of all, let me just go back to the Timberwolves game real quick. Let's find out. It's 62-85. 62-88. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's wraps. That's what I was trying to say.
Hit an FU. Wow. How you in that? That was a top shot. He just hit like fading 3 at DiVincenzo's grill.
That's crazy. But first things first, let's say Pacers Thunder. Who do you got, and in how many games is your like official prediction? It's a tough one, honestly. It's a lot tougher than people think.
I'm gonna say Thunder.
You're gonna say Thunder?
I don't know what to say, 5 or 6.
I think 5's too small.
I do too,
personally.
But also like.
Well, I mean, we can both agree neither of them are getting swept.
I feel like the Thunder are just that fucking. Yeah, they sweep the Pacers in the finals. That isn't gonna happen.
Right.
Out of respect for the Pacers, Thunder in 6.
You going Thunder in 6?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's with the predictions, it's going to be interesting because I'm going to flip that the other way and go Pacers in 6.
I respect it. I think if the Pacers win, like I said, I laid it out before.
Yep.
I think they'd have to do it in 6 because they aren't fucking sweeping the Thunder.
No, by no means.
That's not happening. If that fucking happens, I'll get a Pacers tattoo on like I don't even know. I will genuinely get a Pacers tattoo.
That'd be a great episode.
If they sweep the Thunder. And you could hold me to that. Like we'll get the video of me getting inked.
So if the Pacers get swept by the Thunder. If the Pacers get swept by the Thunder?
If the Pacers sweep the Thunder.
If the Pacers sweep the Thunder, you're getting that Pacers tattoo.
If they win the NBA Finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I will get a Pacers tattoo.
All right, it's on film, so no going back now.
I will do that. I am so confident that they will not sweep that I will make that bet, and even if they did, I've been wanting a tattoo.
In the top comment gets to decide where the tattoo goes. No, I'm just kidding. That's not happening.
But yeah, so I will do that. But I think it's more realistic that if they win, it'll probably be in 6 games. They'll take the first 2, they'll split the next 2, and then they'll win in game 6.
Yep, that's totally fair. Well, the position I'm in with the Pacers, because I truly believe they can win it this year, they've just proved everybody wrong, and I think it's the narrative is like so perfect. I will say there's no way they win in 5. I don't think there is a world where the Thunder only win 1 game in this series, and I don't think, like we've mentioned before, I don't think they win a game 7 in OKC, so I'm kind of like pinched in the middle with the 6. I think it has to be 6.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. As we get official word. Wait, hold up. There's no way.
What?
Hold on. It's the end of the 3rd quarter. Someone already posted a picture that says eliminated with Timberwolves, and they posted it an hour ago.
It's diabolical.
Yeah, like they probably put this up at half. That is so
bro, man,
funny.
I would pay to hear Chris Finch's fucking halftime speech, dude.
Oh, dude, he's from like y'all are ass.
Damn, Ant, bro, what the fuck? Like, fucking, you said bring your ass and say y'all are ass.
Exactly. I like, and don't get me wrong, Anthony Edwards has been good throughout the playoffs, but it's also like it doesn't feel like his playoff run last year.
No, by no means.
Last year, it just felt like he like on a fucking roll. It was like there was no one that could stop him. He came out, he looked incredible until he got to the Mavericks, and then he sort of looked tired. But before that, he looked like Baby Mike. Before that, and then this year, I feel like there hasn't been as many of those like I'm him type of like moments.
I think the Timberwolves lost this series in Game 4 only because they lost by 2 for 1, but Ant had 16. Like, your star player, the guy you're building everything around, doesn't show up and you lose by 2. That just sucks the life out of any team to go down 3-1. Like, that really, really blows.
I agree.
If they had won both at home, I think it would be a much, much different story. At least if they got blown out here, all right, we're going back to Minnesota to probably force Game 7, but...
I think this is another team, the Timberwolves, that if they landed Kevin Durant, I would be very happy.
Another fucking Kevin Durant?
No, because, like...
Yeah, no, I see.
KD is Ant's, like, favorite player.
Yeah.
And also, like, he just works. So it would be fun.
I find it weird that Ant's dad doesn't go to a lot of the games. Like, MJ can't be that busy. Like, come on. Fucking be a good dad, bro.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, like, he wasn't going to Jimmy Butler's games either, so.
Yeah, well, that's the forgotten child over there.
Yeah.
Ant's the prodigal son.
How you got 4 sons and you only show up to 2 of their things?
Does Jordan have, like, 2 actual sons?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many kids he had.
Yeah. At least to my knowledge, he has 2 sons.
I was like, 4? Fucking Jesus. So it's like...
Yeah.
Not like Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon's got like 12 kids, but fuck it.
Yeah. Nick Cannon just catching a stray out here.
In a fucking basketball podcast.
Yes, in a basketball podcast. Nick Cannon catching a stray.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's great.
Well, that's a great place to end off.
Yeah, that's a solid...
Fucking Nick Cannon
has 12 kids.
If there was like
Nick
a fucking...
Cannon do be fucking. That's why he has...
Yeah, he do be fucking. Well, hey, if there was like a parlay and people could place on like what topic we're gonna end off on, this would be like plus 10,000 fucking Nick Cannon. Like fucking...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the Nick Cannon bettors are like buying new houses.
Yeah,
right
fucking
now.
mortgage going crazy. Let us know your finals predictions, Timberwolves and Knicks. You know how it's gonna. Okay. All right.
How it's gonna shake out.
Well, and until next time, guys. See you later.
Peace.